if you give the left a cookie. If you give the left a cookie, they'll get mad if it has gluten, and demand that you apologize for all the good you're doing. And if you give a glass of milk, they will ask you for a straw, but not those plastic ones that hurt the turtles down in Panama. Then they'll ask for a gay cookie, and pout if you don't want to make it. They'll scream and yell and lie until they change the laws to make you bake it. And when they're done berating you, they'll ask for reparations. They'll demand to be included, then subvert your expectations. They will swap out all your chocolate chips for raisins, and when they're done, they'll want to take your entire business, but first, they'll take away your guns. 'Cause if you don't conform, they will cry for your destruction. Then cancel all your sponsors and seize the means of your production. You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy, renting everything you need, with Big Brother watching over all, controlling what you read. But free will is overrated. It's better if you don't resist. Just accept the brave new normal, or they'll take away your kids. Then you'll spend your days in prison, and BlackRock will take your home, when all you really ever wanted was to just be left alone. But if you give the left an inch, they'll demand you give the rest. The slippery slope was miles back. They just changed the name to progress.
In a world of remakes and remasters,
are we playing for keeps?
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame. Gone are the days of Paz and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now, it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, and welcome back to the show, everyone. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things. It's called Best Gen because we all are roughly from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we are better than you, but because our movies and entertainment certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that gets shoved out of the Hollywood sludge pipe every day. And
I don't want to hear about anybody's sludge pipe. Come on now.
There's a lot of sludge today. We got a very special show. It's a season finale episode. Loki's finally over. Praise the Lord. And we've got a premiere on the same day. The Marvels just dropped this weekend. Did you see it? Not a lot of people did.
No.
I certainly did not.
I've got my imported Australian brewed guava soda, and I'm ready to complain because I did. Oh yeah, we also got Invincible to talk about. We'll save the best for last, though.
I did actually finally watch episode 1 of Invincible,
You did,
but I haven't watched
season-
episode 2 yet.
of season 1.
Of season 2. Of season
Okay.
2. Yeah, so I'm on the right season, just not the right episode. I've been out of town, so I've been not where I have access to my Amazon Prime, and so I wasn't able to get that, but I was able to get to my Disney Plus. So because my Amazon Prime is not my Amazon Prime, so
So I'll put you guys on top because the top row has seen the Marvels movie and the bottom row has not, and I don't want anyone calling me a hypocrite, saying that I supported Disney because I watched the Marvels, but Disney didn't get any of the money. I'll just put it that way.
Sorry, guys.
On an unrelated note, I also bought a ticket to go see Five Nights at Freddy's. You okay, Mexa?
No, I don't know. Something like I ate something maybe that was not good, so I'm struggling right now, brother.
Well, if you need to peace out, you can.
Yeah. I will let you know, but I'm going to be here soon.
Okay, yeah, turn off the
So
camera.
hit me.
I'm in a spot that's got flies flying around me so don't mind me if I'm swatting at stuff. Apologies.
But before we get into the Marvels, there is good news on the horizon, and I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. It is oozing from my pores. Because, baby, The Bear just got renewed for season 3.
That's good. I'm like, what?
I've heard good things. I didn't know you were watching The Bear. Is it good? You like it?
If you are not watching The Bear, you are a dum-dum on a stick. Watch The Bear. It's freaking amazing. It's weird. It's a show about cooking, and everyone's yelling at each other, and it's very pressing, and everyone's sad, and it's literally the greatest thing you'll ever watch. I love The Bear.
Yeah.
Did you finish season 2, Jared?
I did. And at the end, I was like, oh, snap. That is the worst way to end a season.
Oh, I told you, season 2, season 1 is good. The finale of season 1, I didn't love. Just story-wise, it didn't make a lot of sense. But like character growth-wise, it was a good finale. It's just like the story was like, I don't get why this would be a thing. But then season 2, oh baby.
Yeah, it was good.
Right, the Christmas episode.
Oh, that was
that's out of the blue is like a 2-hour episode.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize.
What the crap? And it's star-studded. It's got like John Mulaney in it for reasons I don't know. It's got Better Call Saul in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nuts.
Seriously.
It's
Mark,
pretty
like,
awesome.
I swear, if you start with season 3,
Mark.
Yeah, I liked the show. I do have problems with it. I think that it kind of shows like a slice of life for every episode, and one issue that I have with it is it doesn't always show the resolution for some of the things that they bring up in the show, and then it just moves on. And it kind of bothers me a little bit.
You're wrong. Season 2 branches out, and there is like an episode on all of the side characters. They get focused.
Right. Season 2 is better.
Yeah. Oh, okay. In season 1,
season 1 in particular, they end it with there's certain things that happen, and then they don't address it in the next episode. It's just like they didn't.
Okay, I had to wait a year, so I might have forgotten some of the dropped plot points.
Season 2 wasn't as bad, but there were still a little bit of things, especially bridging the gap between seasons 1 and 2. The sous chef quit; she lost her job. And
no, it bridges that gap. The
very end, the very last thing is come in and pick up your last check, and then the very next, the first episode of season 2, she's back, and they don't address it at all.
I'm pretty sure it was addressed, David.
Nope.
It was. I remember it getting addressed actually at the end of the season of 1 because they first
She comes back in the
penultimate-
finale.
Yeah, the penultimate
No.
episode is where she's like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
David,
I
you're
quit."
wrong. Did you
And
just
then the
not watch
season
the
finale,
finale
she-
of season?
I was going to say
1?
maybe David missed an episode there.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and check, but I'm pretty
you're
sure
wrong.
in the finale episode,
No.
they have a phone call, and he says, "Come and pick up your last check,"
No, I'm
You're
pretty
wrong
sure
about
and
that,
that's
yeah.
where it ends.
But on the point that your complaints for season 1 may be slightly valid, but season 2 fixes it completely. They branch out and have all these like side quests, and then at the end you're like, it like all comes together, and you're like, oh, like this is why, and it's really good. It really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Anyway, the Bear's great, and the Marvels is the
47.
biggest box office bomb for Disney or Disney Marvel specifically. Maybe Disney as a whole. I don't know, of all time.
Probably.
Not as a whole, because there are some bombs like Marvel Needs Moms. That was a bomb.
Mars Needs Moms.
Mars
I
Needs
think it's probably
Moms.
Moms.
I mean-
Mars Needs Moms. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're big movies. though,
Marvel
obviously.
needs moms. Yeah, Marvel needs moms as well. Yeah, all these people need mothers, fathers, sons. I need to learn.
She got stabbed by the. Look, who got stabbed? I don't know.
Somebody was stabbed.
I was stabbed by this.
He's
orange
making the.
chicken that
Okay, I
I
get it.
ate.
You're making the joke because with the Wheel of Time, even more egregiously than the bear, ends with people dying and then they're alive in season 2
Oh dear.
with the Shatter Logos blade that sucks the soul from your body in an instant. The sous chef. I get it. I made the connection just a little too late. Yeah. Marvels. It's yeah.
Embarrassing, I think, is the right word for it, I guess.
Yeah, and even before with the pre-sales, they realized that the week
It was looking bad. Yeah.
this is
Well, that's why
this is tracking worse than the Flash, and
that's why they released a trailer to tease that Thor would show up, and instead
Did
it
you-
was.
Did you see in the trailer they spoil the villain's death?
Oh really?
They show the bad guy dying in the trailer.
Oh
Interesting.
yes, but
Go watch
yeah,
the trailer again.
You're
It's
right.
Ah!
You're right. It's just that she looks like Ronan, so I
it's
thought
the
that
Christmas
that she was
vacation.
not dying, but she was doing her power. But no, she's when she was dying, when she's like doing the and she's freaking
Nice.
like electrocuting.
Yep. I
They-
didn't notice that. Yep.
What's crazy is this is the perfect movie to compare to The Flash because I'm pretty sure this movie had the same, if not more, reshoots than The Flash did. They
Yeah, more,
reshot.
because you
They-
can tell.
this
It
movie.
depends on what you're counting as a reshoot, because there was like
If
the Flash
you
went
count
through,
like
like
the
a
last
bunch
week,
of development garbage.
so did this. So did this.
More-
How
even
many
more than
times did
this.
they push this movie back? They
Yeah,
pushed
but
this
there's a
movie
difference between they like fully rewrote and reconfigured Flash like 6 times.
They
Ezra
did.
Miller once tried to get and go in there and say, "Oh, let me write it," and they like the
But
other
this
writers
movie
left because they're
also
like,
got-
"Why are you letting him write it?" Yeah,
This
Jared-
movie clearly got reconfigured like at least
They
3
did.
times.
They did the
It
same
did,
thing.
yes.
The same thing
It
to
did.
this. And granted, a lot of the changes were like last minute. Like they filmed the end credit scene like this month,
It's clear,
and
it's
you can
so
tell
clear. And Diana
because
Costa was not
holy
even there.
crap, it looks so bad.
The acting, bro, the acting of
Yeah.
the girl.
Be-
Jesus
yeah,
Christ!
yeah.
But we can get into
Spoilers.
that when we
Well, I mean, they already spoiled it themselves. That the X-Men. It's the X-Men,
Yep.
guys. It's the Fox
Beast showed
X-Men.
up. I was actually really stoked about that's freaking Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer, this is awesome.
It wasn't
CGI
Kelsey
Kelsey
Grammer. It
It
was a
wasn't-
piece
it-
of
it was-
plastic.
it was
a
CGI.
plastic
They-
beast.
They did CGI do the same stuff that they've done with like Hulk and all that to do the performance, but it was his voice because it was his
Yeah,
voice.
it was his-
it's
They
his voice, but I went back
literally
and
they
watched-
called up Kelsey Grammer, paid him like $10 to record 2 lines in a studio, and then they CGI'd him into the movie. And
I think that they did
you go
actually do the
back and
tracking
watch-
on his
Go
face.
back and watch the X-Men movies, which are
But
like
they have
20
studios for
years
that, and
old
there are
now.
small studios as well.
Yeah.
He
Like
looks
small cap
better in a
booths, and they're
20-year-old
just
film.
a small green screen, and they put the mask on you, and then
True, yep,
they
yep.
just
I
they
did,
put the
yep.
balls in. But yeah,
Yep. Put the dots on. Yep.
yeah. If you want to like get into it, or you want to keep talking about the news about Marvel
Well,
before this
yeah.
orange chicken keeps messing with my bowels.
Well, this one
Oh no.
is.
I was
there's
gonna
a lot of
say-
good ones.
You're absolutely right. It was a mess of a movie. There was still a lot of fun stuff in there. I had a lot of fun with some parts of
I
it.
had a lot of
Okay.
fun
But it
too,
was
but
all
not
over
for
the
the right
freaking
reasons.
place. and
My
it was all-
my expectations for this movie were very, very low, and
Yeah.
they were
They were-
blown out of the water.
Yes.
I had no idea how bad this movie was going to get. When
Do
they
you want to start with the good because it's
Okay,
the
okay.
easiest part?
okay. First off, this is hilarious. The Marvel's director used Final Fantasy Advent Children as a reference when pitching this movie, which is hilarious because she would be so lucky to have made a movie as good as Final Fantasy Advent Children.
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching
Not
those
even
movies
close.
on TNT reruns. Holy moly, guacamole!
But yeah, okay, what's the good? What's the good out of the Marvels?
I can start easily saying that Miss Marvel. I never liked that character. I never was interested in that character ever in my life, where I will ever like that character. But I think that she carried the freaking movie by herself.
She did. She was the best
She
actor.
did a lot
in
of
the
great
movie.
stuff. I will say though,
I didn't watch the TV
her
show.
screams like
Me neither.
I watched the show and I enjoyed the show and I enjoy her as an actress and a lot of the stuff that she was doing. But for some reason in this movie, her like every time she would scream, it was very real, but it was so annoying. And I'm like, are they just trying to make her annoying? Because she's a great, great character.
Yeah,
character.
That's exactly what they wanted to do with her.
It
And
was
it's so real and it's so funny.
It was very real.
It was the
genuinely
only
made me laugh
part of
because it was real.
Yeah, it was the only part of the movie that had any charm because
because
she was acting against two literal wooden planks.
Yeah.
Just
No,
one.
no,
There was a
yeah.
mahogany plank, and there was a nice
And
like
I'm gonna
balsa
be-
wood plank.
I'm gonna be really offensive here, and I don't care if I get canceled. But this girl, Monica Rambeau,
She's
she
bad.
can't close her mouth in the entire movie. I was waiting, like counting my watch. She can't close her mouth, and I don't know if no one told her because this girl, Miss Marvel, and that's why I noticed that she's the best actress in the entire crew. She always has her mouth in a perfect position, always. And when she has to move it, like just smallly, and you know, when she's acting surprised, because Marvel Captain Marvel is, because Plank was in her bedroom and she's like all excited, and you see the excitement in her mouth and then in her eyes.
She does a freaking great job.
You know, like slightly and really subtle, but you can see it, you can feel it, her excitement.
I've been telling you guys, the show is good. The actual show is good because it's like everything you got out of her, but even better. Like it's less annoying
I may check it out
of her.
Right.
She moves in the same way that she moves, because her moves in the freaking. I was impressed.
She's a little bit better in this. She's a little bit better in this, but she does, and that's the thing is it's a progression with her in the show. But
I was thinking, like, is she studying with like Shin Jong-hoon, I don't know, with a Chinese guy, like she's doing the kung fu in the air, in the break dance, and doing like with the that scene was only good for her.
But it helps that honestly the actress is like she's a huge Marvel fan anyway herself. So like it's probably not as much acting as anything because she's just that excited to be there to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
No, she is a good actor. I think the character is stupid, and I'm obviously not the obviously not the target demographic for the TV show, and I'm not going to watch it. If it's good, that's great, and if little girls like it, That's honestly
Hey,
awesome that
little
they can
girls
get
like
involved.
me like it. It's fine.
That's
That's the thing that I
they
don't
can get
even
involved in
think.
politics. What I don't like though is how it's getting pushed on people
Yeah.
like me and saying, if you don't like the show, you're a bigot. And you're like, but it's not for me. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to not, it's great. There are
It's
lots
fine,
of
yeah.
kid shows that I can
Yeah.
say are good that I'm not gonna watch because I'm a grown man.
No, but
Yep. So
That
the other
show-
thing that I will say is I've never doubted,
Oh.
like, Brie Larson is beautiful. Like, yeah, and she had pretty hair, but she
didn't have the
she was
lesbian
freaking
haircut.
gorgeous. But all
Brie
things
Larson
considered, she is
is
actually just a
plastic
gorgeous human.
surgery.
That's something that was going through my head a bunch as I was watching this.
She's
Like,
plastic surgery all
Yeah.
around. You had to see her when she was
maybe,
like,
but
she was in the 90s.
yeah.
She looks-
Did you
Yeah,
see
I've seen-
have you seen her
I've
music
seen some of
videos?
the stuff. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway,
She had the bang.
I actually thought there were a couple of times where she did do a couple of acting choices that, to me, I saw more emotion out of her. So the bit right after they run away from the planet where they're stealing the water,
Which
and she's
you could talk about the scene, but man, was that scene out of place. But go on.
Yeah.
the one where they crash land on the planet or whatever. They're just talking in a circle. They're just
Let's all pause and talk about our feelings really quick.
yeah.
Oh my.
Well, and the thing that was weird about it is I feel like I give more credit to the idea that she's got a little bit more emotion as a character than
There was good
than you guys
emoting
can
in that
give
scene.
credit to.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good emoting, but it was emoting that I was like, I don't know if I buy that this is genuine to the character emotion.
No,
coming
it
out of
wasn't.
her.
No,
It
she's
wasn't.
not
Because it was actual emotion, and for me, I don't hate that she's a plank because she's an angry, aggressive person. That's who she is, and that's how she's been. And so to have her actually give some emotion and kind of be breaking there a little bit, it didn't feel earned to what it was. I could see that somebody who would be an angry person like that could have an emotional break like that, but it went to a different level of emotion that I was
Right.
not. It wasn't working for me, which was weird. But
The
yeah.
other thing about that scene
He was
is
really
they were
forced.
trying to make us feel bad for this woman who abandoned a child.
Well, yeah, they're
They're like,
to me though that does
she had
give
a really good reason. She felt guilty.
no.
You're like,
Well, and what it is it's not even
because
trying to make us feel
terminated
bad or
our
like think
race
that she was wrong because they do explain she was in the wrong. She was just in the wrong. That's all that it is.
Yeah,
and it's
she's a
just
bad
realizing that she's
person.
like, this is what you were going through. You were trying to do this, and you absolutely made a mistake. And
Yeah.
it sucks that you made a mistake, but you did. So
Yeah, I don't want to
know.
get
That
there
one didn't bother me at all.
specifically
I will-
because
I will give the film
I have
this.
a comparison about the whole Brie Larson thing.
I will
a
give the
very-
film this. Like, morally, it did. Like, they said what was wrong, and they were calling her out.
Well, they explored it in a
just
good
think-
way, I think.
I think it's stupid that would happen in the first place, and I can't find that character interesting because I can't physically see a good person making that choice ever, right? So I think it's dumb, but at least they said it. I give them credit. They said that it was a bad thing.
Yeah, okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you
yeah.
my comparison right away, and I don't want to be too spicy for the pepper here. Okay, Brie Larson was
Way hotter in Community and Scott Pilgrim
Yeah.
versus the World than she is
had-
now.
better as in comedy too. But
Yeah, something happened to her cake. It's gone.
yeah, I see the reshoots because you see when she was filming the action scenes, you see the the perfect booty with her suit, and when she is in the regular scenes when she's delivering the actual plot of the movie,
Yeah.
which is half of the freaking scenes, is just them talking in a circle within each other,
So
just
much talking. So much talking.
spewing, dialogue, and those are reshoots because you can see a flatter ass.
Mm. The so
And
so
that's
so
the ass
go back-
continuum.
They just didn't bother to
A
stuff
rip in
it.
the astum continuum.
Going back to it,
They
though,
didn't pad for
the
the
thing
talking
that
scenes.
the really interesting, the really difficult part for me was the Flurkins was too much. It did not work. It was just so bizarre and no thank you. Like kittens
the
are cute and I'm fine with that, but like they went
so dumb.
that was just too much.
The thing is-
And that's
and
pretty
I-
much
do you want me to make it
that's
worse?
why for me.
You want me
That's
to make
why
it
for
worse
me,
for you?
I found a lot of really funny bits. I laughed a bunch. I enjoyed seeing Miss Marvel freaking out and just being so excited to be going through all this stuff, and even the dynamic between Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, like the awkward tension, all worked for me. But they didn't know what they were going to do with this, because the cats they just like throw in there, and it's the most bizarre, weird thing that doesn't mesh with any of the rest of it.
Do you
and
want
then
me
you also
to
get
make
that
it worse
like
for
music
you?
scene. Go ahead.
Do you want me to make it worse for you?
Go ahead.
Tell me, Bearded, what was the entire point of the Florkin cat scene? Like the arc was the
Get
cat's
everyone to
acting
escape.
weird, and first off, it's confusing.
Oh yeah.
Why is it regurgitating people now? Like, and why is it eating furniture? Like, that's not. I don't remember.
It's just eating anything and everything.
It's weird,
Yeah.
but why would it spit it up
Yeah.
afterwards? Okay, so the cat's acting weird because, spoilers, it's pregnant and it has a bunch of babies. It has a bunch of eggs, and the eggs hatch. They don't know what they are. They think it's a security breach. Turns out it's more kittens. Yay! There's lots of kittens, and that's why they did the kitten stream. And then the conclusion of that arc was they use the kittens to save everyone on Saber because they eat them. Because it's bigger on the inside. It's the Doctor Who thing, right?
They've got like an interdimensional.
They use the cats to eat all of the people, and then evacuate Saber, and then spit them up, and then throw them up back down on Earth, and they save their lives. The villain didn't attack Saber.
The Saber was going to be destroyed because of the sun being. Yeah, okay. It was being affected by that. Yeah.
If the sun is destroyed, then the Earth dies too. That entire story arc is meaningless.
Yeah, it's just because
we have to evacuate Saber because they're coming to attack us. And they did.
She didn't. Yeah.
No.
She probably would have, though. All things considered.
I watched the movie like 4 times. I lost like 100 brain cells here. No, but what happened there is that Saber was suffering from some BS distortion with the system or whatever because of the doing with her.
Because of those jump points she was making, causing problems. And,
but at that point, there were no jump points next to Earth.
Yeah, I know.
But regardless of that, it was still affecting him. It was still affecting him.
I can make it work for you. You know something that is really dumb, that they don't have enough vessels to be able to
evacuate
people. If you have 250 people working in a place, you have 250 places available to be able to get back to home. Like I don't care if you had an elevator, which is sketchy, is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. A freaking elevator from a space station to Earth that lasts 5 minutes apparently, because everyone teleports everywhere in 5 seconds, which means that probably they were missing a lot of scenes that they didn't edit, that they edited out, which is like, wasn't this movie originally like 2 hours and then 1 hour 45 minutes and then 1 hour and 30 minutes with the two freaking
to give the movie credit, it was short.
Very short. It was very short.
I wish it wasn't that short.
By like 10 minutes. Yeah. So the only problem is what they really needed to do is they needed to spend a little bit more time refining what they're doing with that story, because there was like I said, there was a lot of fun and enjoyable stuff in there. It just went from, hey, we've got this crazy action-packed romp that's bizarre and confusing at the beginning, but that's the intention because they're switching and they're trying to figure out what's going on, into
and then they didn't use it.
Out in space.
They didn't use it.
Funny enough, they would have worked.
They use it a little bit occasionally, but not very. The montage of them figuring out how to use it and coordinate with it was kind of fun. But then they show up to this planet where they're singing and they have this musical number that just kind of felt bizarre. But okay, that's only a little bit weird compared to what we were going for. And then you get back into like them.
No.
You have a planet. You have a planet that can. Their language is singing. No. Their language is singing in English, and they don't understand spoken English. That is, it's impossible. This movie felt like
Yeah,
A Rick and
because
Morty
the
sketch.
same place
See,
in the
that's the thing.
brain.
Is I'm fine with it. That's a bizarre
Singing.
alien thing. Sure, why not?
It's
You know,
not
No,
bizarre,
no, no,
it's
no. It's just that
retarded.
no. It's just that it's physically like if no, it's impossible. Like talking about the brain because the brain registers singing and music and speaking voice in the same way. That's why when someone
human
sings to
brains
you
do, but I don't know about these aliens. These
asleep,
aliens could
you
have
are
different
able
brains that
to
work differently.
learn
How
language
language
better.
works.
Yes, that's not how language
That's not
works.
how
But okay,
Earth languages work.
never mind
I
that.
don't know.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Let me make it worse for you. No, never mind that because they were all singing in tune in human tonal system of music, which wouldn't make any sense that in a space the same exact system of music tonal scales, major scale, not even like weird scales, maybe like make it
That
sound more alien. No, a major freaking scale. And okay, they all sing in
Mhm.
tune and they all sing.
Well, but that's more
Oh my
like
god.
math. Math and
And
music are
whatever
universal things, regardless
they
of
sing what they
language. You
say,
know.
they don't rhyme what they say, even though that would make a little bit more sense than how something that they did in Star Trek. I don't know if you guys remember that they were talking in there's a planet that we're talking
that scene literally broke
in
me. I
metaphor.
was like, this movie is dumb, but whatever.
Yeah.
And they get to that planet, and I was like,
No, yeah, but then
That was a dumb that I was.
then it gets worse. Everything that's in Monica Rambeau gets tired from dancing like 5 seconds, even though she just beat,
That was kind of dumb.
she just beat
She was
like
super
a race
freaking easy.
of
That
warriors.
was so
like
dumb.
three.
The reality is that the one thing that I've heard is that one they actually cut down that scene. So like it could have been longer, and it was going to be a
It's gonna be
whole
worse.
thing. But the problem is that they then didn't also cut out her being tired because
Yeah.
that makes no sense for the amount of time she was dancing through there. That she was, but
And then in
the
next scene,
singing
they
and the
go to
dancing
big hall
scene.
before the guy comes in, and they are all singing in different tunes. Like they are not singing in
Yeah,
the
they're
same
all all
scale
over the
anymore.
place. Yeah,
They all
they're not
are
singing
tune
together.
out of it. Why don't you use that place to
Well,
use
that's
that
more like just
opportunity
being in
to make
a
it
room
more
with like different
harmonic, like everybody is
conversations
in the
and
same
things are just
harmony. With you
yeah.
just show before with the whole singing, and I don't know why
But
there's
that was everybody was
African
kind of working together as opposed
African
to
shit. Come on,
yeah.
man.
That
I
was
don't know why there's
everyone
like
working together
African
for a
like
presentation for a celebration as opposed to in the new in when you get into the room that's just a bunch of small conversations. Everybody's having their own separate conversations. It's like
yeah,
it's like yeah.
it was dumb.
But
It was
anyway,
very
I love it.
dumb.
I love it.
To me, that one was a like this is a bizarre alien thing that cool, sure, fine, why not? All sorts of bizarre alien things that don't make any sense, but we're going to accept it because it's a bizarre alien thing and it's fun to look at.
Yeah, and
It
why
did
do
fine.
they
It was
all
dumb,
use
it was
auto-tune?
weird, but
Like if you're in
but
an
my
alien
point
country
was
that they develop singing as a method of language,
yeah.
it will be the most guttural, natural way of singing, which would be the natural evolution if you don't
Eh.
develop talking.
I'm
So it will be
not going to say that it
not
has to be in a
perfect.
particular realistic way.
I don't
This
know
is all
why
fantasy stuff.
yeah,
But it's fine.
obviously.
It's
And,
fine
and
because
after
then they
that,
move into
the
another.
guy, the Asian man, the Korean man comes in and sings in perfect
The
English with
husband
no
dude or
accent.
whatever.
And just a second later, it's like,
Well, he's bilingual.
hello,
He's bilingual.
hello, how you
That's a good
doing?
point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, he's bilingual, but sometimes you speak the other language with a different accent than you do your own language. I don't know.
It doesn't.
It's
Doesn't
fine,
make sense.
but so like they move on from that. Another action scene. You're going through, figuring things out, you piecing together all the stuff that's going on, and then you cut back to Saber with the Flurkin stuff going on, and it just feels like a weird, goofy thing. And it was just I was like, okay, we went from interesting action to this is a little bit different, and you can go back to the action. And so like within a movie, you can kind of make some of that like move back and forth between one tone and another and back, and it's okay. But then you go to some other tone way out here, and then you try to come back into a more genuine tone, and I'm like, that it was the Flurkins that broke me. The Flurkins was the one that really like that was the step too far, and I think it was because that idea of it was a mess. It was like four different movies all in one that they didn't know what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And you can kind of blend
Absolutely.
two different movies without throwing me off, but you get that third and fourth one in there, and then it just starts to feel like, okay, this is so like jumbled together. Again, I still had so much fun with that. Maybe
You're being held. Is Disney?
Come on, is this any more like positivity on Disney than I usually have in spite of it being something that you guys
No,
find
you're
terrible?
actually
Come on.
being really, really precise with your points
Yeah.
here. I agree
I
with
just saw it
everything
just
you
last
said.
night, and it was interesting because again, I had so much, like there was a lot of stuff I was laughing at and some really fun and cool moments, but it really was such a bizarre, all over the place
It
mess
was
of a
really
movie.
weird. It was really weird.
was an
Something that really threw
absolute
me off
mess.
was the Black Girl Magic.
Black girl magic. Your powers aren't working. Come on, use your black girl magic. But do you know they were passing out like cards, like trading cards with that phrase on it in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the one that actually made me laugh was the "Come on, use your core," and she's like, "What?" I laughed at that bit. That was a funny bit. And then he does the "Come on, black girl magic,"
That was funny, and then it was cringe. Yeah, exactly.
There was one joke.
Fair.
There was one joke that I did like, but not for the reason that the film wanted me to like it. It was when the Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel are introduced to Miss Marvel's family, and she says, "Oh, this is my niece," or whatever, right? And she's and the mom chimes in and says, "They don't look related," and I laughed. I was like, "It's funny because it's stupid," but the movie wants the movie wants you to think, "Oh, it's because whatever," and I'm like. But Disney, you don't get points for creating the problem and then saying, "Isn't it funny?" You did the race swap and you created the problem, and now you're
that one's not even a race swap. That one's just a found family sort of situation, and that's what and actually like the dad responds like, "I don't know, modern families are different or whatever." So like he kind of plays with that.
That was the only good joke.
It's just like your friend's family or whatever. That's like, oh, they're anti with such as this. But it was a really fun joke to be like. They don't look like they're related. That was a very good joke.
Father is kind of funny.
But I was laughing for a different reason. Like you're like but Disney does it all the time, and they do it seriously.
Where it doesn't, where they do it seriously,
you don't get points. You don't get points for that joke for the problem that you created.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was funny. That was the only time I laughed. I was in a theater with a lot of women who were there to see the movie unironically, and the theater was dead silent. This was supposed to this kind. I assume the movie's a comedy, right?
It's a wacky.
It has to be a comedy.
It's a wacky movie.
No one was laughing. There was one old lady that laughed one time, and it was like a ha ha ha. Do you know what it was?
Which one?
It was when Captain Marvel got floored. She got slammed into the wall, and this old lady goes, ha, 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 ha. Okay,
I love that.
There was a family there. It was a mom and dad with their daughter and their daughter's friend that were watching the movie. When the movie ended, they did the fancy produced credits and then the stinger at the end, which was the X-Men thing, and then the real credits start. And the mom's like, "Okay, can we finally leave?" And the daughter was like, no, you have to sit through the credits. You have to sit through all the credits because there's always an after credits thing. And she's like, fine.
And there was no
most of the time. There's been a few that they haven't. But,
I was like, well, I have to watch how this develops. And so I was just texting on my phone, sitting through the credits, and there was no scene after the credits, but there was an audible cue where they had a cat going meow and then tentacles. And I kid you not, this is a direct quote, so I have to swear. So I apologize. She said, "Are you shitting me?"
Yeah, it's fine. She said too much of those of whether they're there or not and what's going on.
You're out of the will, both of you. And the friend chimes in. Wait, when was I ever in the will? She's like, you guys awesome. I can't believe you guys made me see this shitty movie.
That's awesome.
That was literally funnier than anything in the movie.
I was there were only like 5 other people in my theater, and I was the idiot laughing at like I laughed like 6 or 7 times, like some really good laughs, like that's pretty cool. So like I was the idiot that was laughing in the theater, but no one else. I didn't hear anyone else laughing.
No, do you want to see?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear
I
something?
think I chuckled at a couple of Kamala's lines because she was actually
It
good.
was actually funny, yeah.
But it was like a
The other part, bro. The other part is that I was going to the only 3D screening in the entire town where I live, which is right next to the one of the biggest cities in Mexico. Do you want to know how many people were in the movie theater?
You already told me,
like
so I can't.
5.
Yeah, you already told you. Yeah, me.
I'm
and
guessing
nobody
5.
else. Me and
Was it?
nobody
It was
else.
just you.
Nobody else. I had the
Yep.
entire room for myself.
Yeah,
The only
it's not looking
screening
good.
in Friday. It was at 5:45, so you already know that it's after work, after school.
Uh-huh.
You know, is the arcade? There's an arcade right
early
next
enough.
to the movie theater.
Yeah.
It was full of kids. You know, I heard the fucking screaming of the freaking screaming of the kids, and I don't hear as you know. I was like, okay, the guy in the tickets told me he was like, "Are you sure you want just one ticket? Are you sure about that, brother?" And I was like, yeah, I haven't gone to the movie theater in like like a year or more. Like I don't know how much time. Maybe more. Maybe since pandemic. I don't remember. But
honestly,
yeah,
this
This was
film
not
didn't-
overly
this
woke.
film didn't feel woke.
242.
It was just bad. It was just the worst
yeah.
writing I've ever seen.
It was a jumbled mess. It was quite a jumbled
the
mess.
worst writing I ever seen. Everything.
This should have been Miss Marvel season 2, and they should have just done 5-6 episodes of a Miss Marvel season 2.
Talking about San
honestly.
Francisco, the other problem I had with the alien planet is it didn't look like an alien planet. It looked like San
Like
Francisco.
Greece.
Like
Oh,
the
okay.
people looked like they were
Which-
from San Francisco.
Which one? Which alien planet?
The singing planet, where everyone was singing.
singing
It
planet?
was literally just a pride parade. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo, can we talk about the Spaceballs thing?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. This movie wasn't even woke. I don't think there wasn't a message, right? Other than
No,
just
really.
feet,
Intersectionality.
other than the black girl power, right? And obvious,
Black
like
girl
we
magic.
want to
and you've
empower
got
women,
Captain
which isn't
Marvel.
a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to empower women. When I think it's bad is when you empower women at the cost of men by degrading men. And
When
this
you
movie
empower
didn't-
anyone at the
this
cost
movie
of someone
didn't-
else, that's yeah.
The first Marvel movie, the Captain Marvel, definitely hated men. In this movie, I honestly think they listened to feedback and they're like, okay, we can't write this
Dial
character
it
the
back,
same
yeah.
way. Otherwise, like no one's ever gonna like
No.
them. The problem is this movie wasn't woke, but we are seeing the effects of hiring woke people. Like it's the writing. We're hiring writers for their diversity and not for their quality of writing.
I actually think that the bigger problem is the structure that was going on at Disney and Marvel at the time, in particular. That
Which is because of the same thing.
Actually,
It's the
no.
same
It's more because it's more because of the people at the top putting bankers in charge instead of creative people in charge. Because like you got Bob Chapek versus Bob Iger. Bob Iger had like creative people in charge, and Kevin Feige was making the decisions. And when Kevin Feige was making the decisions, most of the time it turned out pretty good. And then they took away his ability to make decisions, and they started
But
just
this movie has
churn things out. They've been churning
believe that
way
narrative
too
for a
much.
second.
But either way,
the pro Kevin Feige stuff it's literally been a calculated move. Like it came out the same time as Bob Iger's his little book, and it honestly feels like propaganda because they know that it's failing and they want him to be able to like save face.
The only reason
it feels like propaganda. No, trust us for real. It's not Kevin Feige's fault. It's all these other people. Like, I don't believe it.
Who was in charge during phases 1, 2, and 3? Kevin Feige was ultimately there. So when he's stretched too thin because there's too much else going on and have his power taken away, makes sense that it would be
How is this more work? There's less going on. There's nothing.
There's way more work, way more than was going on when only Iron Man was coming out, and then Iron Man and you had 2 or maybe 3 movies happening a year, as opposed to maybe a movie a year, as opposed to you have 2 or 3 or 4 movies a year plus Disney Plus shows that they're trying to put out, and they're doing.
You're honestly telling me it was less difficult to set up the Avengers something that had literally never.
I'm not saying it was difficult. I'm just saying there's less work
done. And everyone
I'm
was
just-
saying,
Yeah.
I was saying it back then. I don't think the Avengers movie is going to be very good. I can't possibly imagine how that movie could be good.
It was good.
And we had to eat our words because it was amazing.
It was awesome. Well,
And you're telling me
my
that
point
that
is
wasn't-
when you're
that wasn't as hard of a job as managing.
no.
There's
That's
not a
not what I'm trying to
single
say.
Or
That's not what I'm
Endgame, or
saying.
Infinity
That's not what I'm
Wars.
saying. Make
or-
one good thing or make 4 terrible things, and the one good thing's gonna be better because the 4 you're having to do 4 different things, and they're all going to be terrible. Even though this is the one good thing, this one is harder to do, and it takes more effort and more work, and it's going to end up being good because you actually put in all of your time and effort into the one. You're getting your best directors, your best writers, your best whatever.
But
When you've got
still-
4, 5, 6, 7 projects, you're going to have
Right.
not your top tier people. You're going to have 10 other people that were not good enough to write your one good film.
But that's
the problem
what's
is-
happening
yeah.
though, Jared. They want no names so that they can control them. Like they used
Which
to
is
have
fine.
they used to have
You're
talent
right.
involved. What they and it's their fault. They
It's
fired
because
my
they have
favorite
too much
director
going
of
on.
all time.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
they
I know.
fired Edgar
I know.
Wright. They pushed out Joss Whedon. He made them.
Yeah, well,
They pushed
There-
him out
there's a couple
because
different angles
they
of that,
wanted
because-
to be able to insert their message. They wanted yes men, and that's what they got. They got people who are inexperienced, who will
think
just
they-
toe the line and do what Disney says.
I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't take it that direction. I'm not disagreeing. It is still their fault. I just don't. I just think that I think that they're moving. They've
the New York
gone way
Times
out
said
here.
this?
They're coming back out a little bit, but I'm not expecting them to get back to the heights that they were, but I expect them to be getting better moving forward here. That's the thing, is I do expect things to get less bad. I'll even say it that way. Not better, but less bad. I expect things to get less bad at this point. Is all I'm saying.
How?
You know?
They're not changing anything, though.
I mean, they've
They're
already put
dwindling
Kevin
down.
Feige back in charge, and they're dwindling down to having fewer projects. Exactly the things that I'm saying I think are the problem. They're changing those things. So, like I said, I don't think that they're going to get all the way back up to their peak that they were before, but I do think that they will get less bad than they are right now.
Yeah,
Because
but
they had all of this. They had way too much going on. They also had to figure out. They had delays that came from the pandemic, and the extra difficulty that came from having to do the COVID protocols with this, that, and the other. And then they had the actor strike and all these other things. They had a ton of things going wrong for them. And then you add in Iger stepping down and giving Chapek the reins, and him putting all these middle managers in the way that are only caring about the numbers, not caring about the product at all, only caring about the numbers, and it completely destroyed the whole thing. So now that they're stepping back some of that, they're coming out of the writer strike, they're coming out of the actor strike, they're coming out of COVID stuff, everything's settling back down. I think we're going to get less bad. I'm not saying it's going to get great, but I think they're going to get less bad.
Well, time will tell.
I have no
Yeah,
sympathy.
we'll
for the
see.
devil.
I do need to leave in 5 minutes. So if we
Loki.
want to touch
Loki, what do you
anything on
think?
Loki, it was fine. I think it's interesting. Somebody was talking earlier in the thing how Loki isn't Loki, and I think the big thing is for me, Loki in the comics has always been a little bit more mischievous than villainous. And so the idea that he's going in a slightly different direction than being a villainous, and I think in the comics they've also started going to, rather than God of mischief, he's the God of stories or something like that.
Sure.
So him being in charge of the multiverse and keeping the multiverse in check and straightened out makes some sense to me.
Okay.
I'm good with
okay.
it.
Will you concede, though, that I watched the first episode and the last episode and I missed nothing? Because this episode literally starts with erasing the entire season and ends with it, too.
Pretty much.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
no, you're absolutely right. Yep.
And before you leave, I wanted to ask you one more question about the Marvel, because
Yeah.
I want to see you try and defend this.
Okay.
The worst part of this, it was just so stupid. And I was like, what? It was at the Singing Planet, right? And the scene ends with, hey, we're not dressed for the job, because she was in her plaid t-shirt, right? We're like, and I was like, okay, but whose fault is that? That's yours. Okay. And she says, could you possibly give us some clothes that would be more appropriate for battle? And then the next scene is them in their costumes
In their super suit costumes.
that they had in their ship, but they chose not to wear. What
No.
was that scene for? What was it for?
So no, because the difference is they're in different suits. They're in because the suit that Kamala Khan was in was totally different suit. It looks a lot like the one that she has, but she didn't. I don't think she had that on the ship.
So they took a sewing break then. So the bad is coming to their planet.
It's still ridiculous.
Do some swing.
Yes,
you're absolutely right. It's still a ridiculous thing. But they got new costumes because even Captain Marvel's suit is a different suit than she had before.
Rambeau's as well.
Monica Rambeau's was because hers wasn't a super suit. Hers was just her like the same jacket. It was her uniform that all of the same other people on Saber had. But then when they made her suit, it had the like little silver thing here. It was actually a full suit, not just the jacket and some pants. It was a full suit. It was a different thing. So they did get different suits. The people gave them different suits. They took a sewing break. You're right. That's what it is. The people stopped and said, "Let's measure you guys and let's make you the thing and whatever." That's what we skipped over.
But also,
it was different suits.
We were ready for battle.
We'll give them
their designs. Go in looking like hobos. Like
give them the designs. Yeah,
I'd have to double check and see. I'd have to double check. Monica had no super suit thing, and you could maybe argue that the like material for that's going to be an armored something or other, whatever.
I remember that she has some shirts on. That's why I know that she has shorts.
But so Monica had no super suit. Captain Marvel had a super suit, but I guess she wanted a different one, maybe. And same thing with Kamala. I don't know if she actually had her super suit on the ship or not, or if some of the swapping she didn't, and it was. It was kind of a weird cut. It was those
were the parts that made me laugh because it was so stupid. I was like, and no one else was laughing.
Yeah, that's just what I expect out of these shows because they're going to have we're going to need to look good, and then like you smash cut to them walking in their new suits. So that's a total trope. That's a totally normal trope. I get it. It's dumb, and there's no logic behind it. But it's normal. It's the thing that happens in everything.
The other big problem. The other big problem, which makes less sense narratively, is. She was just guessing the entire time what the villain's plan was, and she was right.
Yeah,
and she was like, like out of the infinite number of planets that she could go to, like, oh, she's gonna go to the water planet because she needs water next, and it was just complete conjecture.
Well, that one they talked through.
But the bigger problem though is why did they need to go to different planets? Like the first planet she went to had air and water and trees, like. Why I didn't understand
more water. They needed more water.
I know. And the dumber thing is we don't know where she's going to go next. They didn't even know where the villain was located until Captain Marvel guessed. Oh, it's her home planet. That's where they are. You know what they could have done?
Where is she? At home.
You know what they could have done from the opening scene of the show, Jared? They could have, I don't know, gone through the open portal to the bad guy's house.
Yep.
This movie was retarded.
They literally said that they couldn't close the portal. Literally, they said that they couldn't close the wormhole.
But you can go now if you need to.
Okay. I know you're fine. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna respond to Articus about they weren't using like X-Men or Galactus and things like that because they didn't have the rights until recently. So like that's the main thing I want to respond to.
They have had the X-Men for a long time and they haven't used them until this.
They have, but there are still some interesting like contractual things where if they're going to use X-Men at this point, they have to actually use the ones that had been contracted already. They have to wait until like it's sometime this year or next year that they can actually recast them. That and at least theoretically, there's been a plan to do something that they didn't want to just jump in and do it haphazardly. I think they've done other things haphazardly instead. So I'm not saying that they're not doing things haphazardly, but I'm glad that the haphazard stuff has not been with the X-Men, and I'm hoping. I have more optimism than you guys, and I get why, but I'm hoping that they will end up with less haphazard storytelling once they get to the X-Men because they're taking time. Maybe theoretically. But anyway, I got to get out of here. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your opinion.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Loki, I was right the whole time, and you can't say otherwise. Hashtag technically Mexican did nothing wrong. The Loki show sucks. I literally missed nothing. Nothing matters. And in the end of the episode, they erase everything they did, and it's just God Loki now. And also, I'm pretty sure Kang is done. I don't think they're going to use him as a villain anymore because
They
that's
had to recast.
the entire finale of the show is Loki taking charge so that Kang the Conqueror does not exist.
Yeah.
I think maybe Jared's
Jonathan
right.
Majors
Honestly,
is facing
maybe
some
Jared's right.
some major
Maybe he's right, and
Major
they
charges.
are massively rebooting.
Yeah.
Jonathan Major is facing some major charges, so yeah, probably
Yeah.
they had to recast. They definitely have to recast if they continue with the Kang situation, because they say that it's not only the thing that he has in New York, but there are in other places and other things are coming out. So he's not gonna definitely not. They cannot risk it with, and they already. I mean, this is something that they said in Film Thread. So and they have a lot of good insight in Hollywood, and they say that they are already thinking about recasting Kang because of the issues.
I don't
And
think they're
I
recasting him. I
hate
think they're
the
just scrapping Kang.
hypocrisy. That only because he's a black guy, they just don't kick him out. Because you see, Johnny Depp just got kicked out, and even though he won the court case, and the other guy, the Rick and Morty guy, also white, then he gets kicked out as well, even though he got as well a justice, whatever. He got found not guilty as well.
Yeah,
The charges
completely
got dropped.
exonerated. Yes,
Exonerated, that's the word exactly. The charges got dropped. So where is black privilege, black girl magic?
Yeah. See,
Well,
the
you
thing is
just
with
need to-
Kang. Go ahead, Jared.
Well, I was just gonna say that the other thing is, I don't know exactly what they're gonna be doing because they mentioned that they're looking or they're hunting for the other alternates of Kang. So my thought was like, they might do a spin-off where it's like, what happens when they miss one, or
like that was the point of the finale, right? That you can either it was either let me live and everything's safe, but there's no free will, or kill me and the Kang alternates are going to destroy the universe. And so the solution was, okay, we're going to kill him so that free will exists, but then Loki's going to take the seat, become God, and make sure that Kang isn't a problem. So, and then they bring in the line referencing Quantum Mania, saying, yes, there was a Kang variant, but he was dealt with.
Well,
he's good.
Well, yeah, but he also, like, Kang himself, when he was talking to Loki, he's like, you can't stop us. We already have too many variants out there.
Well, then what was the point of the finale at all? Then there was no arc. If I just misread it, but that's what it felt like the art was. Is Loki sacrificing himself to solve the problem?
Yeah,
and if it doesn't solve the problem, then why? Then it means nothing.
Yeah,
I agree.
Imagine that he spends eternity there and
they
nothing
left
happens.
it open a little bit.
On the Planet of the Apes movie looked okay. I haven't seen any of them. I know people love them.
Watch the first one.
I just don't like prequel stuff. Like it's not interesting. Like I would be more interested in seeing a Planet of the Apes, which is why this movie actually does look interesting to me. Because
the first one is decent, but I don't like the premise. You are right. I prefer the other premise of the Planet of the Apes.
I'm more curious. Yeah. The original Planet of the Apes is literally, it's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
It is the greatest plot twist of all time. It is incredible. The plot it's mind-shattering, the plot twist, and it's ruined because everyone already knows it. Yeah. I'm more curious about Deadpool 3. I'm not super excited for it. And I saw the trailer for Frozen Kingdom. I haven't seen Afterlife, and it honestly looked kind of dumb.
Frozen Kingdom doesn't look good.
I don't get it. Like, why it's cold? I don't know. That's not scary to me.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters movies aren't supposed to be scary. They're supposed to be funny, but they're a little creepy. And I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But maybe I should watch Afterlife. I'll be excited. Also, I was not excited to see Patton Oswalt. So that man is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say about Kang that's one character that it's built into the character itself that you can recast him, and be a different person, especially with the multiverse. But it seems from the rumors that are going around and the speculation, it doesn't look like he's going to be recast. It looks like they're going to scrap him, and they're going to replace him with
someone,
Doctor Doom
someone that they haven't ruined.
something. Yeah,
Because even if they recast him, like I think the character's just ruined. He's not interesting anymore.
he's not a threat either. He was a
Stephen
joke
Burton,
every single
yeah.
time he showed up. He was just beaten easily.
Yeah, the conqueror, the guy that was supposed to be the biggest, the smartest and the most powerful, so powerful that he ruled the miniverse or whatever it's called, the Quantum Manian. But no,
there's
he
no
gets killed by ants ex machina.
I also liked how the Marvels doesn't even address Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah, they forget about it.
It's not even mentioned. Like the movie
heard
is
rumors
about,
of that.
it's about the Skrulls too, and it's like
The Scrolls already have
Marvel is so
a
dead.
world
They're
where
just
they are
they're
refugees,
done.
yeah.
They're finished.
They're done. They don't even.
I
yeah.
physically can't be interested in it unless it's a complete rehaul and reboot.
Yeah, but I really don't understand how you are able to just throw away to the
Yes.
garbage $300 million.
Oh, and I forgot.
I just don't get it. Yeah.
The Galactus part, the finale of the Marvel. Sorry, we got to talk about the Marvels one more time.
Mhm.
Oh, they bring in Galactus.
No. Captain Marvel flies into the sun.
Okay, let's talk about the entire finale scene. Okay, they're fighting the monster. They're fighting the villain. They're fighting the villain with the power, and they are ready.
Yes,
they are trained. Yeah.
She gets both bangles, and they contradicted themselves immediately. They had the conversation with her. If you're only using one bangle, using the power is too much, and you're going to kill yourself. And then she proceeds to use it for the entire movie. Oh, and it should have killed her. It was the first line in the movie. You need both bangles, otherwise you will die. And then she gets both bangles, and what does she do? She dies.
No, it's way worse than that. Like, look.
It's too much power.
So
It completely contradicted itself.
yeah, they're fighting, and the fighting scene had no music. The final scene had no music for the half of the scene, and it's just.
And the fight ends with the bad guy essentially winning and dying. She uses the bangles and opens up a portal and dies.
Because it's 3 versus 1, and it's the freaking Captain Marvel, which is the most powerful thing.
Yeah, and they showed her in this movie flying through ships like she did in Endgame and completely destroying them.
So
and she was struggling against. This wasn't a super powered woman. It was just a regular Kree.
Just like a regular Kree, yeah.
Just a regular Kree.
With a hammer.
Who had the hammer, which for some reason looks really light in this movie. Did you notice? She's like waving it around, and when she like taps it down, it's like tink. And it's like, I remember the same hammer in the Thor movie that wasn't, in Guardians of the Galaxy. And
that was really heavy.
The man was like clunky. It was heavy. And it looks like the balsa wood staff because this woman that they cast as the villain has zero presence. She was the worst villain ever. She wasn't scary.
Yeah.
And they had to make the hammer lighter for her, and it looked light. It looked like a toy. And then she just dies. Her arc is I get what I want, but I die.
They pin her with a wall, and she's like hurt in her. Yeah, she has a wound, stabbed with a wall or something, and she's like, and Captain Marvel is like, you don't have to be bad, you can be good. And he's like, what are you talking about?
This is literally she's doing multiple genocides.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, like, and I was going to make the comparison, but it's a little bit spicy. Imagine Captain Marvel is a Yahtzee. Imagine she's, because she basically is. She was
she's worse than Hitler. She's worse than Hitler.
Exactly. She was doing cleansing of and she was one of the soldiers basically of the
She was doing planetary cleansing.
Exactly.
It wasn't just ethnic.
And let's just say, and then her justification was because she couldn't remember anything.
Imagine the fight scene, you're fighting Hitler at the very end, and then he gets stabbed, and you're like, wait, no, don't kill him.
Don't. You have to be good. Yeah, imagine like Hitler comes and tells you, no,
don't kill Hitler.
I already killed hundreds of thousands of Skrulls. But no, if you do it, no, you are wrong. So you have to be good. And she's like, okay, and then suddenly, they save her from the wall, and suddenly she grabs Kamala, and she grabs
she
the.
wasn't there.
Yeah,
She wasn't there.
was not even there.
She just
said
appears out of
transported
nowhere so
right
that she can
next-
get grabbed and used as a hostage. Yes.
Yeah, grabs her, uses a hostage, pins her down with the hammer, and is like, Kamala, sister, you have powers with your brain. Just put something that can shield
I know.
you with the hammer in your
She
head.
still had her
No,
powers.
you forget that you use your powers with your mind. You don't use your powers with your hands. And it's like whatever, no. And it pins her down, and Captain Marvel is like, oh no, I cannot. And she's like, I'm gonna kill
Like-
Kamala if you don't do
Like
anything.
honestly, you guys do need to see this movie. Like it is
Yeah.
funny. It is a funny movie.
So bad. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. I'm watching like 4 times already, and I laugh every time harder because I think about it. The most I think about it, the dumber it gets. So yeah, then she gets the other bracelet. By the way, the bracelet that she has the exact copy of the bracelet in the middle of space in a planet that we don't know where it is because they don't worry
They
to
don't
tell us
say.
where the fuck that
And her,
planet is.
her grandmother mailed it to
And the
her,
grandmother
apparently.
mailed her with UPS the other copy of the same exact bracelet, which is the thing that gives you the power to be able to technically Mexican said at the beginning that if you use them both you don't die, but if you use just one it gets corrupted. And
Except that she
arm
uses just one
was
for the
getting
whole
corrupted.
movie.
Exactly,
And doesn't
her
die.
arm
And then
was
she
getting
finally gets
corrupted.
both and has the power to do what she wants without dying. And she does it and she dies.
And she dies. She immediately dies when she wins. She dies.
It's
She
so
just
dumb.
she kablooms and the funniest part is they contradict themselves 3 times in a span of 5 minutes because first of all, you know what he said, and then she dies with the thingy, and then Miss Marvel grabs both of them and uses them in the same way that she used them before.
And she's fine.
They
And
have-
she's,
and
and
she's
I know.
And she's fine. And you know what?
The
You
little
want to hear
girl
the
was
justification?
stronger
You
than
want to
the
hear
villain, I guess.
justification? The justification is because she was destined. Because
Yes, that
her
was
grandma
it.
sent
It's
her
my
the
destiny because my
freaking thingy
grandma
in the UPS.
FedExed it to me. I don't.
Okay,
It, like,
yeah.
It made no sense.
So they had to, yeah.
Well,
so
okay,
the ending
they need
of
to
the
know. They
movie,
need to know for context.
yeah.
The villain's motivation was she was it's not the it's the Krull and the Kree. So it's the Kree who were the bad guys in the Marvel movie, and that movie ends with her killing the Supreme Intelligence, which was the AI that was running everything, and because of that, apparently their entire planet was destroyed.
They go in a civil war.
It doesn't make sense. Their
and they
sun
destroy the
their
atmosphere.
sun died, their water disappeared, which if the sun dies and the water it doesn't, it's not very congruent, right? And like so they're living on this like skeleton planet, and so they ripped off Spaceballs. She's teleporting to other planets and literally sucking up their resources through portal vacuums.
Wormholes, yeah,
Wormholes.
but it doesn't make sense because she says this: our air is poisoned because of the civil war that we had when the Supreme Intelligence was destroyed. And it's like, okay, it doesn't make sense because you know how they survive in this planet with the poison air with face mask. Face mask. I'm not kidding. There are face masks with designs that they look alien. It's just a face mask painted green. That's it. Like it's just literally a regular face mask you buy in your store. And it's like, don't they know that your skin breathes as well? You know the air. So if the air is poison, your skin will be poisoned. You will die as well. So they.
This is a really great point, and it would be a very good question to ask if the movie made any sense. You're right. The sun died because the AI died, and restarting it like you're thinking too hard, and they didn't think about it when they were writing it.
Exactly.
So Captain Marvel is trying to plead with the villain. No, stop. Like maybe we can figure out a way to start your son again. You don't need to do genocide on entire planets in order to save your planet.
So they Spaceballs,
ignore the fact that why would she need to do it to like 7 different planets when she could just get one and steal all of its resources, right? Whatever.
So they
she needs a piece from each one. She takes the air from the first planet, then the water from the next planet, and then the sun from the next. It's like
exactly.
What is this?
And it gets dumber. It gets dumber the more resources. Because
so after she dies,
the first resource, the air. You know, how do you depollute the air in your
Doesn't make
own
sense. None of
planet.
it makes sense.
Yeah, how do
It's
you
never going to make sense.
And then the
And
water, because if you get
Yeah.
more water than the one that you had in your planet, you're gonna get tidal waves, and it's gonna.
there is
destroy
no
everything.
explanation for
Yeah,
why any of this
exactly.
works,
And
because
then
the writers
how
don't care because they
in
didn't think
the-
about it. They just said,
how
"Oh, this
in
is what
the
it is," and
fuck
that's
do
it.
you steal a
Blah,
sun?
blah, blah, blah.
How in the hell do you steal
With a
sun?
portal? It's literally just
With a
a
portal,
door.
with a
and it
wormhole. It's just a
somehow
wormhole.
steals the sun. It doesn't make sense. Okay.
It starts
They should have
sucking
had
the
the Spaceballs
fire.
vacuum suck.
It starts
so-
Baku sucking the fire of the sun. So
When the villain
funny.
finally gets what she wants, she gets both bangles. It was weird though because the portal was already open at Earth.
It was already
right?
sucking the sun. Yeah, exactly.
And so she gets both bangles, and then she does this. I can do now what I want. Boom, and it kills her, and it opens up it blasts a hole. It opens up a portal to the Fox universe. The Fox.
Exactly, literally.
But we don't know that until the very end, right? Why was that her plan? That doesn't like she'd already gotten everything she needed. Why did she need the two bangles?
Yeah, she didn't need it. Yeah, she was already sucking
The entire premise of her as a villain was I need to get two bangles so that I can do what I want without dying. And at the end of the movie, she's already done what she wanted to do without dying, and then she gets her bangles and uses them to die. And I don't understand how opening a portal to the Fox universe would help her plan. It seems like it would just hurt her plan because she's already won. It makes no freaking sense.
So
then Monica Rambeau saves the day. She goes through the portal and closes it from the other side. She gets stuck in the Fox universe. That's why you get the scene with Kelsey Grammer and her mom. Her mom is alive in that universe, but she doesn't have a kid. So she's like, "Hey, Mom, it's you." She's like, "Who are you?" Oh my goodness, the mom doesn't know who her daughter is, and Kelsey Grammer's there, and he looks horrible.
And do you know what the final
And then
line...
Captain Marvel, what does she do? She goes to the dead planet and flies into the sun, using her power to restart it from the inside, and then flies out of a fully working sun. I am sorry, but Captain Marvel is not that powerful. That is Galactus level power.
Not even
it is
Superman.
Insane. Even though the sun was dead, you would still die flying into a dying star. It's still
a pretty big sun.
Really hot, guys.
Yeah, super dense.
And she has the power to do that, but she didn't have the power to kill this lady in one punch.
No. And do you know
Are you
how
insane?
she gets the power?
This movie is retarded.
Do you know how she gets the power? And this is the exact line how she gets the power to jumpstart a sun. Monica Rambeau asked her, "Why haven't you tried to help the Kree?
Why haven't you just tried to help them?
Yeah,
I never thought of it before."
I could do it. And Monica Rambeau says this. I did a lot of things that I never done before this week. Okay,
that line pissed me off. She's like, "I don't know if I could possibly do that." And Monica chimes in, "Well, this week I've done a whole lot of things that I've never done before." It's like, yeah, because it's bad writing. Like,
Wow.
Monica never has an arc. Like, she just, "Hey, how did you get your powers?" I went for a walk and I got my powers. And so she's constantly like, she just gets an upgrade this movie, and she's able to do everything because literally the movie says because black girl magic.
Yeah,
she's like, he's like, "You need to fly. I don't know how to fly. Use that black girl magic. I can fly now." That's literally a line from the movie. Also, Captain Marvel is a murderer or attempted murderer. When they know that they can switch, the first thing she does is, "I'm going to fly into the sky knowing that I will switch places with Miss Marvel, a girl," and literally drops her from the sky to her death.
Almost dies. And
Monica has to save her. Yeah. Captain Marvel is an evil person. And so when you get these scenes at the end of the movie where they're like, "Oh, but I didn't mean to abandon you as a child. I only did it because I felt guilty about hurting this other planet." And then they say, "But did you ever try to help the other planet?"
Yeah, exactly.
"No, I never thought of that. I just felt guilty."
It's so stupid.
I don't care about this character. She's an evil person.
The first
She's
planet with
evil.
the scrolls she goes to, she screams at the top of her lungs to Miss Marvel because Miss Marvel is trying to save people, and Captain Marvel is just doing stupid stuff in the air. Like she's doing nothing, Captain Marvel in the air, she's doing stupid shit. And Miss Marvel is trying to actually save people that are about to die. So she gets angry. She's like, "No, let them to die. Let's go!" And they go out of the planet. But in the
Yeah.
very next scene, in the other planet, she gets angry at Miss Marvel because Miss Marvel literally saved the entire, the three of them
Yeah.
of certain death because the Gary was about to kill them because she had the power of Captain Marvel because she absorbed it because it is something that they forget as well in the rest of the movie that she can absorb the power of Captain Marvel. She never does it again for some reason, but she does it there. So yeah, Miss Marvel saves it, and now she's like throwing a tantrum because she wanted to save the other people, but she didn't want to save the scrolls who she exterminated before,
It's
genocide, but
it's
now she's
nonsense.
trying to save. So I don't get it. It's literally
It's
just
absolute
absolutely
nonsense. Nothing in this movie makes sense. And this is a great point. Obviously, if the AI controlling everything dies, you're gonna have turmoil, and it would probably destroy your civilization, but it's not gonna make your sun die and poison the air and dry up your oceans. It
yeah,
makes
the
it makes
air and the
no
ocean. They say
freaking
civil
sense.
war. Okay, I get it. Maybe civil war, maybe nuclear
Anyway,
civil war, perhaps. But the sun, it was
absolutely
really
hated the
stupid.
movie. Uh and Loki sucks too.
I loved it. I loved the movie because it's so
It's
bad
funny.
that it's
It's
so
funny to
funny.
watch, but
Watch
it's
it,
a
rewatch
bad
it.
film.
Yeah, I watched it in
It's like you
Spanish just
watch this
because.
movie like you
Yeah,
watch Trolls 2, right?
exactly. I
Or
watched it in
Troll 2.
Spanish because I wanted to see the Black Girl Magic in Spanish
Black Girl.
because
What's the line?
mo-
What's the line? Is it
they don't have the balls to do it. They don't have the balls to do it. They know it's racist. They know it's gonna sound racist if they say magia de mujer negra. It's going to sound racist. Yeah.
Mágica Negra?
No, they say "empoderate, hermana," which is "empower yourself, sister," which is like the lamest, most basic, and literally brain dead woke. And in
Oh,
Spanish was woke, by the way. The movie in Spanish
Black
was
Girl Magic. Black
yeah.
Girl Magic.
Mujer de magia negra. No, magia de mujer negra. Yeah.
And like we said before, like this movie wasn't woke. It was just bad. It's just
It was
bad.
really, really stupid, but that's just like you said before. It's the intersectionality, is the fact that they hire people based in the race and that they are female. And
Yeah.
that's it.
You got all these people that they hired to make their woke movies, and they're not good at making regular movies. And they're I might be optimistic in thinking that maybe Jared is right in that they are trying to course correct, but it's too late.
I
Because
don't think they're
the
gonna.
only people that they have available to them to write are these people that
They
they
double
hired to make
down.
their woke stuff.
They double
And
down with this movie.
and when they try and make a movie like this one wasn't woke. When they try and
Yeah.
make it, they tried to just do a regular story. It sucks.
Yeah, but you didn't tell them the last scene before the post credit scene about the
Which was
Avengers.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
setting
they
up
double
young,
down. I told
young
you,
of
they double
it's,
down.
yeah, but that's fine. I like it's okay if there is a movie for young people. Just don't shove it down my throat, right? It's
But it's like
Kamala
nobody.
Khan
This movie
setting
was
up
for
the
young
young
people,
Avengers. Yeah.
and nobody went to watch it. Not even young people. Like most of the people that are in my channel are
Uh-huh.
young, and nobody knew even that this movie was
Right.
out, and nobody
No,
wanted to watch
the
it.
problem is they're doing it wrong. I don't think that the Young Avengers existing as a film is a bad idea.
No,
I don't
it's,
think that's
it's a
bad,
good
but
idea,
it
but
needs
they
to be
don't know
done
how to.
organically. You need to start with Kamala Khan and get people to actually like her first,
They don't
and
know how to
then
do it. Yeah.
you'd have to do it like they did the Avengers. I'm sorry, you can't shortcut it. You can't just insert this character into the MCU and tell people to like it. You actually
Yeah.
have to make it good before you get to do Young Avengers. You have to build it up the same way you did the regular.
Yeah, but the thing I hated is that these people are the most powerful things in the entire like the power levels that they show for Miss Marvel. She now has the two Bengals, so she's literally the most powerful
Well, no,
thing
she
in
gave
the
one to
universe.
Marvel. So she gave one to Captain Marvel.
Why?
So they both wear. I don't know.
Why?
But they both wear
would-
one. I don't know. But at the end of the movie, they were both wearing one. Okay, I don't know why.
Bro, why? why? She will be the most powerful thing in the universe. She literally can control matter and
And
control
apparently, according to the
for
movie's
energy
logic,
to matter. And now
if
she's
you
gonna
only have one bangle, you die.
exactly.
Except that you don't. I
But
don't
she
know.
doesn't. She
I don't
doesn't.
know.
Literally, the other girl, when she gets the bangle, the first time she puts it, her entire arm turns purple like Thanos when she gets the. They literally tried to do a Thanos,
Yeah, they
but
did the
no.
Infinity Gauntlet
But
thing.
Miss Marvel has been using that piece of garbage for her entire life and for
None of
three
it makes sense.
3 years.
There's no consistency. There's no consistency.
Yeah.
Anyway, Loki sucks.
Yep.
Let's talk about Loki now.
I didn't watch Loki
But she
because
flies
Marvel-
into the sun. She flies
Yeah.
into the sun.
He flies into the sun. And do you
Loki
want to
sucks.
know the last line in the movie? The last line in the entire movie before
I don't remember.
anything. Oh shit.
Oh yes, that was it.
Yeah. The last line in the movie.
When Monica
Yeah.
Rambeau realizes her mom doesn't know
remember
she
it.
exists.
She's like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "Oh shit." That's the fucking last line of a 300 million movie. That Marvel is it.
They tried to end it with some kind of gravitas.
Marvel is it. I
Okay,
love it.
Loki,
I love that.
Loki
movie.
sucks.
Loki sucks. Nothing matter. Like literally, I also didn't watch any of it to the last episode, and it's like okay, they just went back and they instead of like going with the entire season 2, he just came back to season 1 and say, okay, what if season 2 was good? What if season 2 was as good as season 1?
Let's do a little break. David, you sent me this one, but I think it already got snoped. That Disney Plus is shutting down. I don't think this is real. They're merging with Hulu, and I don't know if that
Next
means
year
Disney,
they're merging
Disney absorbs
Hulu.
Hulu or Hulu absorbs Disney. I think this is I don't know.
Yeah, they said that they're making a third platform that will include both of them. I don't know why that would be the case.
Yeah,
You know-
inside the magic is known for like shielding and then making up stories.
I don't know why Disney bought Hulu. That just doesn't make sense to me. But it seemed whatever. Anyway, that's a thing that may or may
For
not be
Fox.
happening. I thought this article is hilarious. Mark Miller suggests a radical plan to save the comic book industry. Mark Miller is a cool guy. He's writing some really cool stuff. But a lot of the comic books I have back there are Mark Miller. Any guesses on? So he did this on Twitter, and I read the tweet before I read the article because I'm based. But any guesses on what his proposal is to save the comic book industry?
Stick to the comics.
Better writing.
It's just capitalism. That's it. His proposal is the problem. The problem is people are artists are not getting paid. He says I don't want to talk about money because I think it's crass, but I'm going to talk about money because there's something broken with the system. Back when I was working, he doesn't need. He's like, I don't have skin in the game because I do my own stuff now. Okay, I don't need to help you, but I'm offering this as a solution. When I was writing for Marvel and Disney, Marvel and DC. I was getting paid $1,000 a page plus royalties because my stuff was good.
Yeah.
Okay. And now there are people making $90 a page, and that's criminal. I believe. Yeah, that's not a good job, right? And my radical solution to fixing this: get paid percentage. They only pay 2% royalties. Hey, guess what? You get zero money up front, but you get 50-50 split of the revenue.
I agree because it's not gonna make money.
It's capitalism. Guess what, guys? Capitalism freaking works. Because you know what this does? If your book sucks, you don't make money. If your book is good, you make way more money than you possibly could have gotten paid.
That's how many people start losing their whole ideology. In just 1 second, they're going to throw their ideology through the window.
It's literally the difference between capitalism and communism, okay? Yep. If you subsidize comic books, if you subsidize work, you're not incentivized to do good work.
Exactly.
Right. So not only
he says,
not only does it make the better writers succeed and get more money for more funding to make more better comics, it also weeds out the idiots that are writing crap and incentivizes people who maybe could make some good stuff to do better and do a good job and to actually write stuff that is worth reading.
Exactly.
And on top of that, comics have gotten more and more expensive.
That's
Comics
true.
are expensive now. They didn't used to be.
Yeah.
I couldn't even afford them when I was a kid. That's why I'm buying them now.
Well, the solution for comic book is really really easy. Just do what this guy Eric D. Julie is doing. That's it.
Yeah, this is
That's it. Just don't attack your fans and build something that is decent enough for people to enjoy, and don't try to teach BS to people that you don't know nothing about.
This is not what they were fighting for in the writer's strike. What they wanted was both. They wanted percentage and also to get paid massively upfront and to make it illegal for TV shows to exist without writers' rooms of a minimum of 20 writers each. That's what they were fighting for, the writer's strike. And
they didn't get it.
Which is part of the problem with these modern shows. They don't have a writer doing things. They have a group of people coming in with all of their ideas, and it doesn't work. There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Writers' rooms do not work. They destroy good stories.
Yeah, and 2 wrongs don't make a right? And 5 or 20 wrongs don't make one right. And that's why you see movies like, TV shows that are made by just one person, like they followed House of Usher and things like that, that are the creative idea of just one human being, not the creative idea of many.
Jared, do you want to see something gross?
Let's see it. Yeah.
Oh, is that Lanfear and
Is
Moraine?
Lanfear and Moraine about to make out? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I found this and I commented on it. And my comment was just directly quoting Robert Jordan. If you write erotica using my characters and post it, I will find you and I will come down on you like the hammer of God. I found, you know the quote. I've used it. Yep. I don't like it a bit. Robert Jordan, 2002. I got blocked after, but someone else responded, "Wait, is this for real or are you kidding? If it's real, man, that's horrible." And I said, "Yes, it's a direct quote." And then this is the immediate cope. "Oh, well, I can't see your link, but I believe you. Anyway, I think that the art is really good, and they're only insinuating that they're kissing." You don't like the Wheel of Time. I'm sorry, you do not like the Wheel of Time. You don't respect the author. This is this is really small. This is tourism for you. You you cannot say that you are a fan of Robert Jordan if you don't actually listen to Robert Jordan when he says things.
Yep.
David, you sent me this one, and that's the last article, and then we can move on.
Yeah. I don't remember what it says.
He's not though, right?
Right. Oh yes, I remember. Okay. So George R. R. Martin posts this thing. It says what people think I'm doing every day, and it's him at some like alien convention, and what I'm actually doing. He says, "Oh, I am, guys. I am actually."
He's not writing though in this
writing. Well, I mean, he's writing in a notebook,
Okay.
But the funny thing is,
doing there,
it's a picture of him at a convention.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not doing this. This is not what I'm doing. I'm really doing this. Well, you're doing both. Like you are doing the first thing, right? It's just kind of funny. But also, if you are writing on it, how about an update?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're never gonna get those books.
No.
Yeah.
I found a little treasure in my house. This is my best friend left a lot of stuff that she couldn't take with her when she was moving out. So she left the entire collection of the George R. R. Martin's books for in English. In English. So I'm finally going to be able to learn how to read. Yeah, I'm gonna read those before House of the Dragon season 2, so I know a little bit more about the thingy.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just someone wanted the link to the Game of Thrones article. Which one are you talking? What does Trip need? What does he need? The Game of Thrones article or something else? My Twitter is just technically Mexican. I don't know how to look. How do you look up the handle? It's the same. So my name right here, TechMex505. That's the @ for my Twitter.
Nice.
Howdy, the Lost Souls trilogy. Did you write a book? Or no? The Lost. I know that series. That's the Discovery of Witches, isn't it? No, that's different. Did you write a book? That's cool. If you did. So Loki. Loki sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the season was okay, but the season finale was weird, and definitely I agree it did kind of negate the whole season. But
Wait, you wrote you wrote books. Tiffany Truitt, Lost Souls. Cool. I'm planning on writing a book eventually once I finish my music.
Nice.
Yeah, Loki sucks. Sorry, go on. Check out the Lost Souls trilogy, I guess.
Yeah.
hey,
that was kind of my. I mean, I didn't see season 2, but that was kind of my complaint about season 1. Loki didn't really feel like Loki. He wasn't mischievous. The season was okay, but then the finale just came out of nowhere, and I didn't like how it ended. So it sounds like this next season is more the same.
Exactly the same. Yes.
yeah, I mean, literally that one episode. Sure, like the season is him learning it, and I think it's important to understand the journey of how someone gets there. But at the same time, like literally the season finale, he's like, oh, now I know how to time slip, so I'm just gonna go all the way back and just from the beginning, become basically the loom. And you're like, okay, like literally you could have done that episode 1.
Oh, he's talking about the Wheel of Time picture. You want to see? I did send that to the Discord like a week ago when I found it. It's under a week because it's on this show. I save up things throughout the week and then use them on the show. Yeah, Loki. It's just did you like it? Did you like the finale?
Well,
you
it was hard.
You were enjoying the show.
I was, and it was just weird because literally, the season finale, he's like, okay, he's like grilling OB. He's like, hey, how long would it take me to understand everything that you need to understand? I mean, that you understand, and then he's like, oh, well, that would take months. That would take years. That would take centuries. And then it's literally like centuries later. And you're like, okay.
That part was so dumb. I'm sorry. It would take hundreds of years to learn math?
Yeah. So I'm like,
okay. He doesn't need to learn the science behind it. He just needs to learn the Legos. All he has to do, literally all he had to do, because they'd already built it. They just didn't have time to put it in.
Right.
All he needed to do
grab it,
was go back one time, watch him build it, and then do it yourself.
Yeah.
Or maybe watch him a couple times.
Yeah. And but I mean I kind of like when he basically turned himself into the loom at the end. Like I get it because it's kind of his development as he's becoming a god, right? Like he's becoming omnipotent, right? So he's knowing everything there is to know about time and space and all that stuff, right? So like he has that journey to become what he needs to become to do that, like to fulfill that role. But at the same time, I was like, why didn't you just do this at the beginning? And it did feel kind of like lackluster. I was like, okay, like
it felt like it just wasted so much time. I don't understand why the whole season just it's pointless.
Yeah,
and I didn't even watch the full season.
But I did enjoy the journey of the season. I just the finale didn't make a lot of sense, and yeah, it wasn't the best way to end it. But
Okay,
it
really
sounds
quickly.
like that's literally like the end of Loki, though. At least for Tom, he's not planning on doing any more Loki stuff. So
What the stakes for Loki's success or failure are? It's the timeline he's currently in gets pruned, or he solves the problem. That's it. It's like the stakes are he can kill Thanos, and free will exists. Free will exist, but there will be Dick Mexico fell asleep.
well, so what?
If
What it
he
was
kills the
is
bad
that-
guy, then free will exists, but everyone will die. And if he doesn't kill the bad guy, then there's no free will. That's it. Those are the stakes. And he solves the problem by killing the bad guy and taking his place. But he lets free will exist and uses all of his might and effort to make sure that the bad guy doesn't exist so that everyone lives.
Well, yeah, because the season 1 was all about them stopping Kang and his army of basically not giving anybody any will, and they were all going to be on the one true timeline, right? And so this one was all about trying to. But what that did is initially it created all of these alternates because they stopped pruning them, so it created all of these alternates that were overloading the system. So essentially, if they didn't change how they were doing stuff at the TVA, it was gonna internally combust, basically. So that was basically the whole season was how do we stop this thing from destroying the TVA and destroying everything that we have here, and ultimately, and consequently, destroying every timeline because the timelines just like started disappearing. So it was essentially he was like trying to save all the timelines because if they didn't fix the problem at the TVA, then all the timelines were just gonna vanish and fade away anyway. So everybody was gonna die. So he was essentially trying to prevent everybody from dying.
I like this last comment by Articus.
Does the one true timeline not include a bad movie and TV show industry? Well, no, it includes the MCU, so no.
Entire thing, yeah. Yo, guys, I'm gonna head out because I need to get to work tomorrow, and I need
Get
to
some
go to
sleep,
sleep.
man.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow, and
It
I
was
talk
fun
to you
talking with
later.
you.
Text next, I'm gonna send you a message. Now I know what's the schedule. Then they're in Mountain Time. I was really confused by it with the freaking daylight savings.
It's dumb. It's a stupid system.
Yeah, it's really stupid. But yeah,
One of
I
these
have
days
fun
we won't
with
have to worry
tomorrow.
about it anymore. But
Yeah, I hope some politician really changes things around. Yeah. See you guys. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Bye.
The Angry Mixer.
I think I found the right trilogy. I was looking up. I didn't realize it was souls, as in like sun. I looked up lost souls, as in your spirit. It's James Kirk. I think yes, that's the same picture. I will check these out sometime. I read a lot of books. Yeah, I'll get to it a lot faster if there's an audiobook version because I'm dyslexic and I read real slow. Yeah. Speaking of music update, the update's the same. My friend, it's not going to be finished by Dragonsteel. I really wanted it to be, but it's not going to be. But the holdup is my friend who's doing all the mixing, which I'm not good at, and he has a real job as well. He makes violin bows, and he's very famous. All of the Baltimore Symphony use his bows. And he's going to a makers conference, so he can't get back to work on my album until after the 17th. So, it's not going to be done, but it's gonna when it is, it's going to sound real good. Yeah, no audiobook yet. Well, it's cool, man. Right, to have written a book is a cool thing to be able to say, and you wrote 3 of them. They sound interesting. What's left? Invincible. I liked it. It's a good show.
Yep,
I'm really liking where the season is going. I think
I will definitely catch up next week. I just had a lot of other backlog stuff to watch because my Disney Plus subscription was ending. As of today, I no longer have Disney Plus, so I had to get a couple things on there that were on my watch list.
Tell him to find a sugar mama like me so he can spend his days making YouTube videos instead of like a real freaking career. No, like I'm so impressed. Like he's really cool. This guy toured the world playing cello professionally, and now he works with his brother in a violin shop.
Yeah, his
brother makes violins and he makes bows.
Violins.
I touched one of his bows. It felt like a piece of history. Like they are really, really nice.
Yep.
It's also adorable. I like watching them. They look like little men, huddled over, work whittling in their little shops. It's literally the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Two brothers. Did I get the new Jim Butcher book? I haven't read any Jim Butcher books. I have the
Dresden Files.
Dresden Files. I haven't gotten to it yet. I've only recently gotten into reading because I discovered audiobooks, and I read really slow with dyslexia. So I'd read Sanderson, and that was about it. And now I'm reading as much as I physically can. So
yep,
got to add your back. Yeah, I've already got Jim Butcher. Are you talking about because he just finish Dresden Files? Like he's done. That's what I heard. Does your wife know I touched his bow? Yeah, I tell her all the time. I tell her how smooth it was. I will get to the Dresden Files. It's not the next thing on my list, but I'm excited to get into it. Invincible's good.
Yeah, it was
really good.
It was good.
And they did a little bit of the multiverse at the end of this one, and I didn't hate it because it was the guy like gathering intelligence, right? I don't think that it lowered the stakes. It seems like they're approaching it in a clever way that won't destroy the stakes, and I hope so.
I mean, yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see. But like, they did include it again, and I'm like, okay.
Do you know why I have hope?
Why?
Because I actually like Amber now.
Really?
If you can just forget season 1 Amber, like she's a good character now.
Yeah, she's
the
good.
problem is every time she comes on screen, you're like, but like I think they listened to criticism.
Yeah.
Because they toned her down.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I
He's
don't
like,
have any real qualms.
She's supportive.
Wow, imagine that.
Who would have thought?
except for I thought it was funny when like he takes her out on that date, right? And then he gets the call and then he just leaves.
No, that was good. That was good. That was a good call. It was like almost it felt like an apology. Like to the audience for having her character be so crappy.
Yeah.
So like, oh, he's just gonna leave her on top of the Eiffel Tower. And it's like, oh no, I'm gonna take you home first.
Okay, yeah, take it. Yeah, that was funny, and I got a little worried because I was like, "What are they doing?" And then they fixed it, so I was like, "Okay."
I'm saying with caveats, okay. If you just erase your memory of season 1, season 2 Amber is not a bad character. The problem is it's still connected.
Yeah.
Okay. It's groundbreaking concept. I want to kind of use the Daniel Green clip. It's like a soundboard. Amazing concept, right? The condescending, amazing. Oh gosh, yeah. No, it's very interesting. I think they're, playing into the guilt, you've got like the general public is kind of against him because he's just his father. They don't really know that he wasn't involved. Even though, he saved everybody. No one's going to know that, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to be scared of him, and then he's naturally got the thing like, "Am I going to become like my father?" And thinking that that's what everyone else thinks of him, because a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't. I think Adam Eve is going through an interesting arc. I think her dad is a little bit over the top.
Well, but he always has been, especially
I
in the
know.
prequel. I'm like, what a douche! Like,
I know, like
dumb.
it's hard for me as a father to see that character and believe that people like that exist. I know that people like that do, but it's for like obviously there are bad dads. It's harder for me to understand it, and but it still feels a little over the top, a little ridiculous. Like she hands him a golden apple, and he throws it in the garbage.
Yeah, but
I think even a bad dad wouldn't throw away a golden apple, an apple made of 24 karat gold. I don't like it.
But here's the thing too that I appreciated is that like maybe not the next scene. I think it was the next scene.
And
it shows them discussing and saying, "Look, I understand that you maybe feel that like
he's kind of right goal. Actually at the very end with the newspaper. He's like, hey, the thing that you did turned out horribly.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's still like, that is not the way that you approach that conversation, right? Like that is a bad approach.
Yeah, I agree. But I appreciated though that they're like showing you, hey, look, like these sorts of issues can be discussed and resolved through discussion, right? Rather than always fighting through it, which was really good. I think there was definitely some depth to that storyline, which was very intriguing. Yeah, he throws away the gold apple, but at the same time, he is willing to listen to his daughter and say, oh yeah, maybe I was getting a little prideful, because of how we were going about this situation. So I thought it was really good. And yeah, I mean, it's those types of things that Invincible kind of draws you in with, is because it's a different sort of superhero story where things feel a little bit more real because they're making decisions that have bigger impacts and bigger consequences, but that are also still realistic, no,
I'm very much looking forward to this season. Like I was intrepid going in, and I think that from what I've seen, like I think this is going to be really good. I'm a little confused about the Martian guy. I might need to go back and rewatch season 1. But the guy who comes back from the Mars mission, is he just a regular Martian, or is he one of those infected things?
I don't recall either.
Is it him realizing his planet is doomed and escaping to Earth, or is it one of the infected hive mind things trying to infiltrate Earth? I think it's the former.
I think it might be the latter, because it talks when he was talking in one of his monologues. It showed the flashbacks of that villain.
Yeah, but even then, it could be him realizing his planet is doomed and running to Earth, right? Because if it's a hive mind, why would he be pretending to be human? I don't understand what the point of that would be. If it's an alien, it's like, hey, my planet is literally dead. I'm the last one, and I'm just trying to fit in here.
Well, yeah,
but I have to go back and watch the scene. I don't remember if it was one of the sucky brain things or if it was just a Martian.
I think it was one of those ones. But I don't know. I don't remember. I don't recall either. But it specifically showed that scene from the brain hive thing.
But it could be interpreted both ways, right?
Yeah, but that's why I'm like that.
So if it's the hive mind
about the past, where
the only reason I'm confused, the only reason I'm confused about it is that if it's just one of the hive mind things, like I don't understand what it's doing. Why is it trying to be coy?
I don't know. Because he just happened to be like, he basically just, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get it. I guess I need to rewatch that episode because I don't know what they're doing with that character.
I didn't realize. I mean, that's the thing too. I need to rewatch it as well because it showed that glimpse, and I was like, oh yeah, I do remember some sort of Martian thing happening and all that. But
I thought the fish people were kind of weird, but I loved Midnight City. That's hilarious. And I love that it's unapologetically. I love that they can unapologetically rip off other comic books, right?
Yeah, I was like
this is Batman. Okay, and the Gotham City that he lives in. Guess what? The reason why it's always dark there is because in this universe, it's literally cursed to always be dark. Right?
Yeah.
You never see Batman in the sun, and it's because it's Midnight City. There's a dome around the city, keeping the city in perpetual midnight, and that is hilarious.
I thought it was
and
good.
It worked. Like it does, and it's not like a one-liner joke that breaks the reality of the world building they're doing. It actually like fits in that universe. And you're like it's parody and simultaneously its own thing at the same time. Like that's really hard to pull off as well as they did, and I love it. It's incredible. Yeah. They're able to just parody something, but also keep it serious. And then that like nether realm that they go into is like that's really cool freaking stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That part kind of threw me off at first. I was like, "Wait, is that Batman in this?" I was a little confused.
It's his sidekick picking up his mantle because Batman gets murdered in the first season.
Yeah,
Hood Hawk. What is it? Nightwing.
I think it was
Nightwing
is an actual Batman.
Nightwing is the actual
sidekick.
That's the whole Nightfall arc.
I don't remember, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Darkwing. That's Darkwing Duck. I don't know what his name is.
I'll definitely catch up this week.
It's been really good. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait for the next episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Darkwing. It is Darkwing. Okay. The problem is I say Darkwing and then I think Darkwing Duck and I'm like, wait, no, it can't be Darkwing then.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck, man.
Good stuff. I mean it's good. It's definitely a little more raw, which is not in the first season, but like the whole breakdown too with like his mom. Like that was a pretty strong moment.
Really good.
That was good, yeah. So
that one black guy was a little over the top too in the house showing, where I was like, people like this, and I was like, but it's a black guy. They're showing a black guy be a bad person. I'm shocked. I'm shocked to see this in modern television. This should be a white man treating his wife horribly.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene too, but.
I get it. Like, I know that it's one of those things. I know there are people like that, and it still feels over the top to me because I can't fathom treating my wife like that, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I agree. Yeah, but Invincible's good. Definitely go watch it.
It's man.
I mean, it's mature for sure.
Yeah, it's graphic and it's fun. If you can, the first episode is a great metric. If you're going to be able to handle the show, it's very bloody, but really, really good storytelling. And from what I've heard, it's an improvement on the comics. So,
really,
oh yeah,
the comics are pretty highly rated.
Oh yeah, they're great. It's like pacing wise, and other than the Amber stuff,
right?
An improvement on the comics.
Season 1 Amber, apparently.
Because season 1 like takes its time. And like the stuff that happens in season 1 happens really fast in the comics, and so it just didn't have the same weight or purpose behind it. Like I guess it was still the weight, but it's kind of, from what I've heard in the comics, it's kind of just used as shock value, and in the show, it's used as like really good storytelling. So,
Yep.
Go watch it, Dave.
Cool show.
Definitely.
I have not been reading as much because I'm not burned out. I've been more busy doing other things. Yeah. So I'm still reading Elric.
About 3/4 of the way through book 5, Fires of Heaven of the Wheel of Time. It's pretty good. I'm liking this book a lot.
The best one. That's the best book.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Best one. That's when everything it just gets awesome.
Yeah.
You get Matt being freaking awesome. You get Rand being freaking awesome. Even the girls get to be freaking awesome. They participate.
Yeah.
Up on the
Although,
tower.
I don't think we've seen Perrin at all in this so far.
I honestly,
we got a lot of him last.
I honestly don't remember if Perrin does anything in book 5, which is going to be a problem until you get to the end of the series because he already did the Two Rivers stuff, right?
Yeah, that was last book.
Sorry. Robert Jordan didn't know what to do with Perrin after the Two Rivers battle.
Oh no!
And David, he literally does nothing for the next 7 books.
Oh no!
Yeah. Well, you see a lot of stuff with Matt, so
yeah, I love Matt, dude. Matt
he has one plot point that lasts 7 freaking books, and everyone universally hates it. Yeah. It's not that it's a bad plot line. It's a really good plot line, but it takes 7 books.
Yeah.
And then you get, I think is that resolved in Knife of Dreams or before Knife of Dreams?
I don't remember. I'm trying to.
It's resolved in Knife of Dreams because then Sanderson was the one who wrote the trial scene, right?
Sorry,
it's got to be. Yeah, that was in Gathering Storm.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'm correct. But yeah, the resolution is really great, and then he does some really, really good stuff in the last books.
Nice.
The resolution is heartbreaking, actually. It's fantastic. But Perrin does nothing, so just be prepared. Just be prepared for that. It's always funny seeing people start it for the first time. A lot of people, oh, Perrin's my favorite character, and you're like, yeah, he will be, and then he won't be, and then he will be again.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I'm really sorry you like Perrin so much because he doesn't get to do anything.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it, man. We got Cool. Did we get a sub 2-hour stream? We got to end. We got to end this in 4 minutes. I'm shocked because we had 3 things to talk about. This was supposed to be a long episode.
I mean, there have been episodes where we have 1
you know what?
0 things to talk about, and it's still been 4 hours.
It's because Jared's not here, so you will only get one side, right?
Yeah.
There's no back and forth if everyone just agrees with me that Loki's bad. Even you stopped defending the Loki show. You didn't like the finale.
It was a weird finale,
yeah. All of the detractors. Well, see, just give it enough time. I will be correct always.
And even though Brother Jared did enjoy parts of Marvels, he agreed that it was a mess. So there's a lot of agreement.
He couldn't make it past he couldn't make it to the end of that movie without breaking. He said it broke me too. It was the stupid cat scene. Yeah. Oh man.
That's funny.
So dumb. Yeah, so to say they run out of escape shuttles, and so they use the cats to eat up the people because they only have 1 escape shuttle to put all the cats on to save space.
I heard you talking about it.
So stupid.
So
it was just a dumb movie. Yep. I didn't talk about this last time, but I watched. Oh no, I just forgot what movie I watched. What did I watch? I forgot to bring it up last week. I watched a movie. No, it's an older movie.
It was a what movie?
An older movie. I started watching Flight of the Conchords with my wife
for the first time.
Good stuff. Actually, yeah, I watched the first episode several times, and I've watched all the music clips, but I've never actually seen the entire show. So yeah, I started watching that together. It was fun.
I watched a really good movie, and I wanted to talk about it. Anyway.
Do you remember what platform it was on?
It was either HBO or Amazon. How do you look up your viewing history?
I don't know, actually.
On Amazon?
They have a...
I don't think they have a viewing history.
On Amazon, they do.
Really... Huh?
Pretty sure on Amazon they do.
I wanted to talk about it because I was like, wow, this is great. And it's been a while since I've seen something great, and I wanted to recommend it.
Yeah, I think on Amazon they have a watch it again list, but it's things that you've watched previously that been a while. Probably a way to look it up, but
no, it was one that I was lukewarm about. Renfield. I watched Renfield.
Oh, okay, yeah, the vampire show with
yes.
What's his bucket? Nick Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Fantastic premise, horrible execution.
Yeah.
It's billed as a comedy, but it's not funny. And the action is actually really good. Stylized, like some really good, but it should have been a comedy.
Yeah.
Because the premise is ridiculous and they took it too seriously. And then tried to bill it as a comedy. But it's not. Like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Awkwafina is horrible in it. Because she's horrible in everything she's ever done. And other than also being horrible, she's just miscast. Like, I don't understand why she was in that role at all.
Yeah.
But the premise is hilarious. And there are moments where you're like, oh, this is really good. Lean into that. And then they go into another fight scene. And you're like, I thought this movie was supposed to be funny. So there was a lot to like on it. But I was disappointed in Renfield. And they didn't let Nicolas Cage be Nicolas Cage. He was reserved the entire. He was like being held back the entire performance. I didn't like him at all. And I thought he would make an amazing Dracula. If they let him just go nuts, and he was just, I'm a Dracula the whole time. So it was silly. It was silly, predictable, and they did the same thing to another actor too. They had the guy from Parks and Rec, the side character. It's not Mark Ruffalo. It's the crazy guy, the son of the dentist. Him and his sister are just nuts. It's money please, money please. That guy, you know,
I forget his name.
Be suspicious. Be suspicious. Don't the crazy guy, the crazy. You know him. He's nuts, right? And his thing when he's funny when he's insane. And they cast him as the son of a mob boss, who's trying to take up the mantle. And he was like serious the whole time. You're like, but this would have been more funny if you were. The movie should have been a comedy. I don't understand why it wasn't a comedy. But
yeah, that's weird. The trailers even made it seem like it was a comedy.
I thought it was supposed to be, and it wasn't. It was not funny.
So what you're saying is you have a lukewarm review for your lukewarm anticipation for it.
No, I wanted to like it. I was like, the premise looks amazing. It's really clever, and the execution was. It didn't know what it wanted to be, and it should have been a comedy, and it tried to be both, and it wasn't funny. But the action was good. So, like, I'm still watching it. Like, hey, it's still got good stuff. But it's not what it was supposed to be. And it would have been so much better if it was just balls to the walls, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a young Frankenstein kind of thing.
Because the premise itself is insane. It's really dumb, which is why it's funny. And they didn't lean into it. They tried to do an action movie. But the action's really cool. They're really cool fight scenes. So I still liked it.
Yeah.
But it could have been phenomenal. It wasn't.
Anyway. Well, speaking of the whole Dracula thing, then there's that other movie, The Voyage of the...
Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Yeah. No, not the Dawn Treader.
Of Demeter, yeah.
Last Voyage of the Demeter, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not interested in the adaptation of a single chapter that happens behind the scenes in the Dracula movie. It's not even a chapter. It's like you find out about it in a newspaper. And you know that everyone on the ship dies. Why would I want to watch that movie? You know how it ends.
It's fun
I
to
don't know.
watch.
It's kind of like maybe watching Titanic. You know, everybody on that dies too, basically.
But not everybody does. And boobs.
Yeah.
Now my mom always made us close our eyes during that scene.
Yep.
Good.
Close your eyes, everybody. There's a naked woman. Baby. Anyway, I think
All
that's
right.
it.
Night, fellas.
It's been fun. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We've got a
Yeah.
nice, clean 2-hour show. Let's keep this up. I like the 2-hour show.
Wait, what are we watching next week then?
Invincible.
And next Invincible, yeah. That's it. We
I
don't
think
have
that's
anything
it.
else, right?
Yeah.
Um,
there are a couple movies coming up, but I don't really care about. So
Okay.
Yeah, someone mentioned in the chat the Hunger Games prequel. That looks so bad to me. I don't know why.
but I just don't. I don't like prequels.
Yeah.
They're really hard. There are very few prequels that are interesting, and it just seems like I don't understand. I guess I don't remember people liking the book. In fact, I remember a lot of people having problems with the book because they're like, oh, it's a prequel. It's just more of this. Oh, that drops this week. Hunger Games prequel. You're right. And then Napoleon is next week. And then
Ooh, that looked good.
Echo
Napoleon.
is Echo still dropping on December 3rd? It was originally they're dropping the whole season December 3rd. I think
that might get pushed back because of the Daredevil rewrites, because I thought they were going to be very intertwined, but
May,
I don't know.
January. Yeah, that's gone. That's off the schedule. Bye. I don't really care. I wasn't going to watch it. I mean, I think for all these Marvel shows, I'll do the same thing. I'll watch the first episode. You know, there are ways of getting that. The trailer for Rebel Moon dropped though. I'm in. I am all in. This looks so good.
I don't know
what is
Look, even if the story is garbage, because Zack Snyder struggles with the stories. I think he has interesting concepts, good ideas for stories, and then they end up being like too convoluted and a little bit complicated. But man, that boy knows his way around a camera. He knows how to make something look freaking good, and Rebel Moon looks freaking good.
That poster looks amazing. Dang.
Go watch the trailer, baby. You're like,
yeah. Ooh, it's got Anthony Hopkins.
Spicy. I'm excited for Rebel Moon.
I'll have to look at that. I haven't heard of that. But
not excited for Ghostbusters. I saw the trailer for Aquaman 2, and it didn't look terrible.
Did it have Amber Heard in it?
Not in the trailer.
Oh, the trailer? Yeah,
Aquaman's fun
whether they cut her out or not. I don't know.
But anyway, I missed some of the trailers because I showed up a little bit late.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up on trailers or anything.
Because the thing is, I had to go like in between. So the showing was at 9:50, right? And the ticket for Five Nights at Freddy's was at 10. So if I show up at 9:40 for a 10 o'clock movie, it's like, what's going on? So you show up at 9:55.
Yeah.
And you miss 5 minutes of credits.
Yep.
Oh man, it was so funny watching that mom just pissed off the entire time that her daughter wasted her Saturday night. I said, I'm sorry, Mom. Don't take me out of the will. I can't believe you guys made me watch this. It was literally everyone in the theater laughed.
At the commentary?
Yeah. Well, at the end, because they'd all been through this horrible thing, and they're like, okay, let's see what's next, I guess. Are you shitting me? It was funnier than the movie. Anyway, see you guys next week. Thanks for doing this. Love you guys. Let's keep it real, keep it chill, and maybe read a book about sons that get lost. I don't know. ancient treasures. See you guys next week, everybody.
Bye.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.